Welcome to the Smart Business Show for May 9th, actually, because we're going to have a change in how the content works. So the podcast will start coming out on Wednesdays instead. So it's for May 9th, 2018. We're going to talk today about 10 constraints and one action that it takes to be awesome. And I've written about this, and there'll be a link to the original post in the show notes, and that actually links out to like all the different constraints as well. So if you want to dive into the written version of this, then you can dive in there. And also this comes from my new book, Analog Productivity, which you can find on Amazon. And there'll be a link to that in the show notes as well. You can buy it from me or you can buy it from Amazon. And I think you can buy it from Kobo now as well. So I will have all those links in the show notes for you though. So the first thing you need to do is embrace constraints. That's it. That's the first thing, is you need to embrace the constraints of your productivity system. Right now, I have embraced the constraint for the last number of weeks, actually, and I'm looking at you on my iPad Pro on a stand. That is my only computer for the last number of weeks. That's it. That's not true. I still need to figure out recording audio for my book podcast, which you can find at curtismchale.ca/podcasts for Should I Read It, so I can get the proper mic in there. But that's the only thing that I've done really on that. I had my computer on last night for that, and that's it. Otherwise, I've built sites, I've done everything on my iPad Pro and embraced the constraints that are there in that. Constraint number 2 is don't look at new tools unless they solve a problem. So don't bounce around between different productivity apps and other things unless you actually have a problem that needs to get solved. Until you have a problem, do nothing. And stay where you are. When you have a problem, write down here's my problem, here's what I'm looking for as a solution. Look at the 3 or 4 options that are there that might solve your problem. Make sure they do not introduce any other problems that you will not like more. Number 3, it's okay to suck at something as you focus on your important work. I suck at email. I'm just gonna let you know. You can email me at curtismchale.ca. I usually get to it once a week. Once a week is what I really aim for. Other than that, I suck at it to do other stuff like write books and do podcasts. So I think I have officially 4 podcasts. Really 2 that I focus on, being the Smart Business Show, the one you're listening to, and the Should I Read It. Those are the 2 that I really focus on. And then I talk about gear sometimes, my outdoor gear sometimes, just mainly so I can write it off. So there's a YouTube channel for that, but that's really all it is. And then I do one for my development business as well, for sfndesign.ca, around membership sites. And I've really just started that one. So to do all of that, to write, I've written 200,000 words so far this year or so. To do all that, I have to prioritize and agree to suck at things. And so I suck at email. That's the one thing I suck at. One thing. There's probably more things, but that's one thing I definitely suck at. Number 4 is you must actually be doing work, not just shuffling deck chairs. That means you need to be actually doing something. The whole goal of being productive in any fashion or effective in any fashion is doing work, not just shuffling deck chairs around, like switching productivity apps or trying new tools all the time. That's not productive unless you happen to make your revenue by trying new tools and telling people about them. Number 5 is you need to make decisions now and not just put them off on future you, because future you has no more time than you do now. So that's one of the big issues with digital productivity tools, is that you just bump the date forward a couple weeks and everything's good, and like 2 weeks from now, you says, I'll totally be able to do that in 2 weeks from now. But you won't have any more time than you have now. You're probably just never going to do it. That's what that means. That's why I embrace a physical notebook, because it actually makes it hard to move things. Number 6 is you need to work on things that aren't just urgent and fires. Building a business is about working on the underlying and important items and getting them done every week. So that's one of the reasons why I stay out of email. It's easy to just hop in there and someone's got a problem. They're my client 5 years ago and they have a problem. Will I help them? Yeah, but does it have to happen now? Probably not. And that's why I work on this podcast, my other podcast, all these other things. Books, right? I'm going to do a book proposal today, and I'm going to do another presentation for Asian Efficiency, right? I just finished one for them, and I did one for them before Christmas. Those are all things that are bigger picture items. None of those are urgent, right? The Asian Efficiency, the last one took a while, which is kind of on me, kind of on them. Vacations, our schedules didn't line up for approvals. This time I'm going to really hammer it out and try to get it done in 4 weeks, if I can have my portion done in 4 weeks. Because I'm trying to work on the things that are bigger to build my business, not just the urgent and important fires. Planning to now means that nothing gets a pass to continue. To continue getting done. It all has to requalify or pre-qualify every 4 to 12 weeks when you're planning your big goals. So I started back in last November, I started editing a book that I was wondering how it would turn out. It was an old book that I called Don't Be an Idiot. Don't Be an Idiot, Run a Viable Freelance Business. I started editing that and thought, wow, it's actually a really good book for beginning freelancers. This is excellent. All the things you need to think about if you're going to start freelancing. I edited that, I did a bunch of work, I got behind on a few things, I dropped it off, and it hasn't requalified yet. I have started a new podcast instead that has to requalify to be the most valuable task I can do in the next 4 weeks to actually move forward. That's it. If it doesn't happen, then I may never get the book done. That's fine with me. I'm not going to worry about it. Number 8 is if you don't write it down, it didn't happen. This is from Tom Clancy, and he, Jack Ryan saves the world by saying, oh, we didn't have records of the stock market crash. So, hey, it just didn't happen. We'll just restart a week later and not worry about it. Now, my life, isn't Jack Ryan's. It's not as fanciful and amazing, but that's one of the reasons I love a physical notebook, because if I don't write it down, I'm just not going to do it, and I don't worry about it. That's totally fine with me. So that's one of the reasons, like even coming up to my notebook, I've got to walk up the stairs and do it sometimes and actually write something down, and if I don't get to it, it wasn't that important, so I don't have to worry about it. Number 9 is you can't be productive all the time. We have ebbs and flows in our energy. I think I did the book, yeah. So in Should I Read It, I talked about When by Daniel Pink. He talks about these ebbs and flows a lot, and how usually we have more energy in the morning, whatever your morning is, whether it's, whether you get up late or not. And then we have a dip through what would be the afternoon, and then we'd come back up around evening. We all have these. You can't be productive all the time. You need to schedule your work. This is why I do my mullet method, really. My mullet method is where I work hard in the morning, really, and then the afternoon I let myself have more distractions around. And you must be focused in your work environment. And I detailed that in 3 posts about my iOS, my computer, which really I don't use anymore, and my physical workspace. One of the big reasons that I've loved iOS and moving to that is because of the constraints that it enforces, because it's hard to switch apps. It just takes more time. I was already a faster typer than my keyboard sometimes, especially when it came to switching apps and stuff, but I am significantly faster than my iPad. So that means that I need to just slow down just a little bit and just enjoy the constraints. I can really only do one thing at a time. So when I finish this, I'll drop it into LumaFusion, I'll suck the audio out, and then I will have to wait as the video uploads to YouTube. That's it. I'm just going to have to wait. There's nothing I can do about it. Which means that I have to I'll probably do some journaling, make sure the rest of my tasks are set up for the day. Well, it happens over, 5, maybe 10 minutes, depends. I have reasonably fast internet. And I'll just have to wait. And same with the audio file. I'll have to wait a little bit while the audio file renders out. LumaFusion is pretty fast, so it won't be that long, but I have to wait. And that's one of the excellent constraints. So I have to be very picky about what I do. When I'm writing, I'm just focused on writing. I'm not, I don't have Slack open on another window, because there are no other screens for me to look at. Or I used to have a 3-monitor setup. Now I guess technically I have 2. I have my laptop and my big 24-inch behind it, but I'm not really using them. I'll probably use them again next Monday because I have a podcast to record with someone else, and they want me to record, and they want to be able to record via Skype. I don't think I can do that from the iPad yet. So that's it. 10 constraints, 1 action. The action is really doing the work. You have to actually look at those constraints and start drilling through them and do it. If you're not gonna do that, then there's no wonder you're not productive. No wonder you're not getting stuff done. If you want to get stuff done, you have to be focused and you have to embrace those constraints so that you can get amazing work done. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the new Wednesday podcast.